worse traffic even to get into the hotel. So well done, you guys. Give yourself a pat on the back. Right, our wonderful keynote speaker to start this event off today. Please put your hands together for Mubarak bin Farad, the chairman of Tasha's Group and DRG.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really great and an honor to be with you here today. Gathering for the first time since the pandemic. I have not attended any conferences or any such a big gathering like that, and I'm sure you're all careful and extra vigilant about where we go and what we do. The DRG was established back in August 2020. The aim of the establishment was an initiative by the enormous pressure came via all the stakeholders in this industry, particularly the fine dining, the QSRs, the cafes, the shisha lounges, name it. Came from all different angles, requesting their own personal needs and issues. So all of these emails and social media and all of the personal reach out to the government individuals did not really materialize into any positive outcomes because every individual has his own and her own needs. So we were gathered and assembled virtually, and I remember very well, we were more than maybe 60 owners and operators, and the government said, you guys are the big movers and shakers in the industry. Therefore, among yourselves, if you need to add in more, go ahead. Bring as many people from your own industry. Elect and select a board, a chairman, etc. Your mandate is in 4 areas: to protect, to help, to unite, and to raise the standards of the industry. The task was not an easy one. We are in a city that's a global city. And if I ask everybody in this room, they will say, I know so-and-so, and I know that person, and my cousin know that person, and my sponsor know that person. So he said, fine, well done. If that's the way we're gonna go forward, then everybody is free to go to reach out to their own associate that they know in the hierarchy. So we said we need to extend help. Looking at our industry, pathetically fragmented. If you like it, if you don't. You are a fragmented industry. That's what the people call you. So therefore, when you are in a fragmented industry, it's extremely difficult to unite people. We are estimated to be 15,000 restaurant cafes in this city. To gather all these people under a one vision and objective is not an easy thing. So we start reaching out to as many people that we can gather, and we say, guys, we need to really put all of our efforts in this pandemic situation. The government said, I will not entertain any individual email coming unless if it's coming from a reputable association. There is others who are really creating their own, I would say, platforms, organizing their own seminars. And for those who are interested to go and to join, just ask one thing very simply. Show me your memorandum of article of association where it is who is endorsing you, because this is what the confusion is going on. So we start lobbying first with regard to the social distance. And it was 2, and it went to 3. And then the tables, they got smaller. Nearly there was going to be a suggestion only to have 2 people at one given point. We said, we need to look where is the maximum effect that's really on this preventive measure. A lot of people didn't like it. Mainly, we were associated with the main area where probably that virus is circulating around. But it was not the case, because all of our staff were vaccinated. However, through the pressure that we put in the different government authorities, we managed to reduce that preventive measure from social distancing 3 meters to 2 meters. We have managed to increase the number of the people at one given point to 10, instead of 4 to 5 to 7 and 10. Many of you here are enjoying a lot of free perks through DRG hard work. As you know, we have 2 divisions, which is the DRG board level, and we have also our advisory level, which is some of my colleagues here in the DRG advisory will be as speakers today, like Tappan and Damon, and I think Faye. There's some of my colleagues here, I see them. So a lot of the people who are not even members of the DRG are enjoying the free perks. So basically, let's pretend that you are booking a business class ticket at Emirates Airline. And it happens Damien is a gold member, I am platinum member, and you are not even blue. You will have the same seat, but you don't enjoy the same perks, meaning I can enter to the lounge with Shireen, who's flying economy. I can welcome him in. I can use the facilities. I can use so many perks. I can have probably many upgrades with miles, without miles, etc. I'm sure you all know the example where I'm going to point to. So when the social distance reduction, everybody who's not a member of DRG is enjoying it. Great. So we start lobbying from another angle by conducting a proper survey. And that survey, we did it in association with Mangora. And you are more than welcome to look at this survey. The survey is very extensive. It's available online on DRG. We did announce it on our monthly newsletter. Our monthly newsletter reaches out to probably 3,500 restaurant owners and operators, and the number is growing. I am just going to tell you the bottom line of that survey. 2 things, or three things, which is really an important outcome came from that. In my opinion, the business will go back to stabilize by June 2022, and that's where I got first when I said 2022 in my speech. Number 2, the main difficulties that all the operators they face today is landlord. And number 3, which is the most important thing, aggregators. So we said, okay, let's go to task number 2. We finished help, let's go for protect. So protect, we reached out to the government and we gave them our finding. We said, guys, this is beyond our responsibilities and scope. This is, as you know, free air, land, ports zone. So therefore, we're not trying to compare examples of San Francisco and New York and some other cities here in the GCC, if I'm going to point. Doha, for example, Qatar, where they did a capping. Kuwait did a capping. Of course, aggregator did not like who is talking, who is going behind the scene and doing all of that. DRG was. And we have managed to secure a fantastic deal, which will be announced next week. And it has a major reduction on the fees of those aggregators. This will enable you to free some of your money instead of you doing your own personal deliveries because of what's going on in the market. So we're talking about an average of 30, 33, all the way till probably 2022. That is less than that. And it will be announced. And others will have to follow. But if we are not united, that we have a number, when we speak, they will not bend down. because we are fragmented. You go individually. So if you are an owner of 2 or 3 or 5 restaurants, don't be expected that you will be treated, for example, like somebody who has 150 outlets. Impossible. But if you are part of the association, we go as one front force and we say, guys, take it or leave it. Because we are together, we are not separated. Of course, in other countries where we have reached to, they have the Restaurant and Bar Association, they have the F&B Association. We have nothing to deal with the B, we are only with the F, because there is the Beverage Association here in Dubai. But we do work together. Again, we have made so many achievements in the last 1.5 years to help the industry even to something unnoticeable by you, but something out of the heart. We reached to the Expo. So we said, we are the biggest employer in the Emirate of Dubai. We are. We employ above 10% of the workforce here. So those people who working for us, they cannot afford even to go to enter to the Expo. We get an exemption. This is another benefit that you guys are benefiting without knowing. It's all coming from the DRG board and advisory that they're working hard on your behalf. But if you want to enjoy the perks, you have to be a member for the other thing that we are heading on. So for example, with that aggregator, it's an exclusive, again, as Sky Miles Award. I'm going back to that example of the airline. If you want to enjoy the perks where we are united together, we are going after the banks, we are going after the insurance firms, we are going after many suppliers in our industry that they have to give us a preferential rates. So if we all together in this room, if we are the 12, 15,000 QSRs, fine dining, casual dining, cafes, if we go to the top 2 insurance firms and we say, this is the army behind us, we need a better rates. You go individually, it depends on your size. It depends sometimes maybe in your connection, in your years of business. But for somebody who started in the last 3 to 4 years, having 2 or 3 outlets, they need help. So they get a better rate in terms of even food suppliers, insurance, airline, recruitment. Again, there is that will come only as a benefit for those who are members. Non-members, I cannot, and we will not extend those benefits. They will still enjoy the other benefits, i.e., in the middle of the crisis, in order for us to reduce, for example, the social distancing. The government, after having several meetings, allowed us to have a fast-track vaccination only for the people who are working into the F&B industry. Because prior to that, you book an appointment, you have to go at least 2 weeks. And imagine if you're going to have one staff, another one, and so on, it's going to be a very lengthy exercise. We have managed to have that, but you guys didn't know about it. The members knew about it. The advisory board knew about it. We announced it, but you're enjoying this free perks. Come united together so we can go and we can challenge. We can talk to the banks. Unfortunately, today is a great opportunity for us to roll out and to grow. Home domestic brands, international brands, name it. Today, from this city, we have managed to grow and to go to the MENA area and to go, probably some of us, they have crossed to go to Europe and to the Far East and so on. But domestically today, in order for you to grow, the banks are looking at you at a very funny terms. They call you an SME. You go to any bank, they said, we are exiting from SME. Why are they exiting from the SME? Because your nature of your business is very simple. Strong cash flow driven, zero return earnings. Change the formula. Start to have a safety net where you can save a little bit of your return earnings, showing a positivity in your cash flow. Coming as DRG, we can strike a deal with one of the banks that can verify, look at your VAT track record, and then you might have that facility. But going individually, nobody will be able to support you and to extend that service to you. I will not take much of your time. The last thing on that Mangora survey was the landlord. It happened that I just saw my friend Alfaro here from MAF. By the way, I have all the respect to MAF. And I love what they do in terms of their development. And maybe there are some other landlords in this conference here today. But that was the main third problem that we all faced in this industry. So let's be very frank with each other. There is legacy issues before the pandemic. There is pre-COVID problems prior to this pandemic. So let's not really take all the blame and say, COVID has destroyed my business, COVID has made me shut down, COVID has made me to retrench certain staff. We all know of these problems. But the landlord were the most controversial subject that people talked about it. Meaning, some landlord, they passed on the utility service charges during even the closure. Some landlord, they have even did not give any rental reduction to their own tenant. So let's not be emotional, let's separate the two. Service charges and common areas fees has nothing to deal with your rent. The people are emotionally driven and they speak out of the box. Everybody here at least own a residential house or an apartment. You all rent your units in a very prestigious places. So common area service charges is not a debate where you're going to go and ask landlord for reduction. You can ask the landlord for reduction on rent, but not on that, because I have to be very firm and clear. Who lives in JBR here? Does anybody live in JBR? Does anybody do business in JBR? 1, 2, 3. So you have business in JBR. Let me just give you a little bit of an example. Of course, you pay your common area and service charge, correct? Can anybody tell me how many buildings in JBR? I will tell you, 58. Can anybody tell me how many security officers and patrol in JBR? 298. Those people that you don't see them, they are there working for you. Even where the refuse area, you will find somebody is there. This city is safe. This country is the safest country in the world. When you pay your service charges, you should know what you are paying. That doesn't include even the cost of the CCTV. It doesn't even include the MEP. It doesn't even include the other areas of the landscaping. Some of the people even like MAF, where the smell across the mall that you smell like a wooden vanilla and et cetera and et cetera. That doesn't come without a cost. So this is an area, if you want to know it, ask for one thing. Show me your audited service charge report. They will be more than happy to disclose it to you. Regulated by RERA. The act even was looked at and enforced in 2019. Divide the total thing by the total GFA area, you will know you are paying exactly what the market, what the government is even trying to keep. They're not making money from you from that service charge and chilled water. But you have to be smart enough when you're signing those leases, your TOR. What are you signing? This is the major problem. If you're committing what we are trying to do today in DRG, taking world best example, TOR, that can this industry survive at We cannot survive at 15% TOR. We cannot. There is parameters and thresholds. And there is also deals, and then there is also a separation once that TOR kicks in. Meaning, what you're gonna give me to justify legally your TOR if you are any developer? This is the major question, because it's an open box. Landlords come here, they throw at you the lease with 15 and 12 and so on. You have to be extra careful. You have to be extra careful on what they are offering you additionally to your lease. The market is softened up in terms of the rental rates. Yes, there is opportunities for grab, but however, if you want to grab, you have to think very cleverly. The problem we have among you guys, including myself, apart from these three main issues of the Mangora, is us. We are our own enemies. Of course, here, good morning, how are you, handshake, fisting, all that is beautiful. What's our problem? We stab each other on the back every day. Hey, you know, I'm gonna nick your operation manager. You know, I'm gonna nick your sous chef. I'm gonna nick that manager. You know that we are suffering from what we call it staffing. We understaffed industry globally. So please, let's work together and stop stabbing each other on the back by stealing our top management and key people in our establishment, because this is really unethical. If we want to grow and we're going to be working together, we must respect of each other what we call them as ethical codes. So this stabbing is really something you guys have to really work on, and you have to respect one another. If somebody resigned, went somewhere else, you want to recruit them, fine, but not really go from the door and come back from the window, that sort of thing. I wouldn't recommend you guys do that. So, in a nutshell, other nations we have discussed with, they have a permanent lobbyist in their parliaments that the F&B industry is electing and paying for. We don't have that here, but we are your voice to the authorities. We are your voice to the major stakeholders that they really can help and smoothen our operation. So without having a collectiveness with each other, we will not really achieve what we want to achieve at DRG. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy to see such beautiful gathering like today, and I'd like to thank the organizers, Mimi and George, for such a gathering today. And also I'd like to thank the sponsors, who some of them are also our sponsors in DRG, and wishing you a very good day and a pleasant conference. Thank you.